original Tehran, which was the areas which were a little out of style back in a few years back. But I think it's the up and coming areas, and it's pretty much going to be the heart of Tehran in a few years, more and more and more, in my opinion, because it was all the older areas, and they got a lot of soul and everything, in my opinion. So I just started renovating this old family building, which was abandoned at the time, and decided to do this sort of multi-use mini complex. It's not a big one. It's got an art gallery, cafe, restaurant. It's got residential. It's gonna have shops, and basically that's about it. So I've been doing. Could do only this one project at a time, but one of the things that made me come back to Iran is it's a place where you can still do a lot of new things and new exciting things. Whereas in Paris, well, even if you can do a lot of interesting things, a lot of things have already been done. So it's let's say it's harder to be original.
So if you would express a vision for Tehran, how do you see this place?
Let me answer this question. Your previous question, as how would you describe Tehran as a person? In my opinion, Tehran is a very professional athlete who drinks too much. In my opinion, as a person,
Drinks too much.
yeah.
Okay.
The contrast between these two things, Tehran has that kind of contrast, in my opinion. That just kind of explain I think it's a. I cannot.
It's very paradoxal.
Yeah, really. I explained drinking because of my pub owning background. It doesn't something really particular to do with the Tehran people. I was just trying to describe the contrast of this city, the underground and overground, underground and not underground. Yeah. But as an athlete that you asked, in my opinion, George Best is the I don't know, most suitable character that I can tell.
Well, I mean, basically, let's say Tehran is a city where you have all that Western branding and everything, and even in here, you got two sets of complete different realities. Let's say, you got the rules and the laws, and you got the real life, and a lot of, let's say, even the population. We got two sets of different population. The more traditional population who really believes and abides and lives by those laws, and you got the other population, which are also a majority in the big cities, and or even let's say, even if not a majority, at least a big part of the population in the big cities. They sort of live with a different reality. And see, that's something you really have to come here and experience it and find out. It's got a big underground lifestyle in Tehran.
What is your vision for Tehran? Right? What is the vision for this space? Because you have opened this place with a vision, right?
Yeah.
So where do you see? What is the vision, and when does it come true? What is your timeline for that?
So here we're doing coffee and food business. Food was always welcomed in Tehran, because it's the only fun that people in this city, the actual fun, I mean, it's the only fun that the people in this city that can have during the day. After the hard working day, they can go somewhere to just dine and eat something good. But the coffee part in these last 2 years, it's really
Let's say the coffee scene has developed much more.
The coffee business here, I mean the roasting, the brewing, not only drinking Turkish coffee or the traditional coffee Middle Eastern countries have. The methods of brewing coffee, not only espresso based, V60 cold brew, a siphon and stuff. All of these brewing methods came to Tehran, mostly Tehran nowadays. I've heard that other mega cities or big cities of Iran also have, for example, Shiraz and this one. But in Tehran, the coffee movement is really growing so fast, especially in these last 2 years. Really good coffee shops and roasteries and coffee stores are starting to open, and people are baristas are growing very fast. Their work is really in this the last 1 year especially. Their work is really good. They're doing European level work, in my opinion. And the coffee distributors, for example, Segafredo, for example, Illy, all the brands have found out that this is a really good market for them. For example, Tehran's population is almost 20 million, right?
I guess, yeah.
Nobody knows.
The speculation, nobody really knows.
Let's take 20 million, but if 2 million of them knows what they're drinking as an espresso or as a good coffee, that is a really big potential for a coffee market, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm listening.
So, how would you describe this place? What is this place's character, and who do you want to visit this place? What kind of people should come here?
I don't think only one type of people should come here. You know, it is a little more hip and young looking and everything, but we don't necessarily want this to be a place only for the young. It is situated near a lot of the embassies, it's situated near all the theaters, so it's situated not far away from a lot of the universities, art universities and everything. And I think a lot of the tourists who come to Tehran like to visit these older areas of Tehran. So people are rediscovering central Tehran, and especially I think for foreigners who come here, it's more interesting for them because it's got more of an Iranian character and it shows more what Tehran used to look like. Whether, as in contrast, you know, uptown Tehran, it's a sort of a copy of a European or let's say Westernized type of architecture or buildings and everything. So it's less interesting for them, I guess.
So on top you have a gallery downstairs,
Yeah.
right? So what is the concept of the gallery? Are you displaying Iranian artists, international artists?
It's mostly Iranian artists, but I think they have international artists as well every once in a while. But yeah, it's an art gallery, so it's the second branch of an already existing art gallery.
Do you miss Paris?
I do. I mean, I visit Paris quite often. I'm actually flying to Paris tonight. So, so there you go.
Okay. But basically you're based here now.
I'm based here, but I visit Paris quite frequently.
And the music industry, that's very interesting. So you've been like a music producer basically.
I did productions, and I used to spin in Paris. We had a group, live group, and everything, and I studied audio engineering, so I did some sort of side audio projects and everything. You don't really have a real scene. The pop scene, the Iranian pop scene is developing much more. They have more and more concerts. Permits are getting easier to get. I mean, a few years back, it was really difficult. I mean, we had the first operas after the revolution a few years back. I think recently they had the first operas. So you have women singers being allowed. So it's also developing more and more. Electronic music scene, you know, well, it's more complicated. You know, it's less like a concert. You know, it's a club thing. So you know, that's gonna maybe take a while. So that is still staying very, very underground. But you know, I mean, we're situated near the Tommorrow Street, where there's the big market for all the DJ equipment, for example. You go there, music equipment mainly, but you know, it's also that you go there and you're gonna see more electronic and DJ equipment that you can see anywhere else in Europe. I don't know, well, you got mega stores, new music mega stores in Europe, but this is like a whole street where you got like these like 20, 30, 40 shops selling only strictly music equipment, and it's becoming more and more and more electronic music oriented. So, you know, I mean, apparently, you know, there's a huge demand for all this stuff.
Where are people most wrong about the public image of Iranians?
People who follow media
Exactly.
are 100% wrong about Tehran. People in West, mostly, they really think, I don't know, they think this is, I don't know, this is Baghdad or this is Kabul or I don't know. They think really wrong about the city, and that really and sometimes it really makes me, especially privately me, a little bit angry because it's lack of knowledge.
In Iran, you actually have all these different realities which are very contradictory, but maybe you could say a little bit like Turkey. They're starting to learn to sort of cohabit, and you know, none of them has to necessarily change. You know, I mean, you can't, you know, make people who have different sets of mind to become all of a sudden very conservative, and you can't all of a sudden change the conservative people to become very open-minded and completely change their sense of thinking. So we really, it's a country, before the revolution it was a different country. Now it's a very different country, but neither population got eradicated. So those have existed. One of them used to be more highlighted, and then now the other type is more highlighted. But they both exist. So I think what's happening here is they are learning to be, more accepting of each other and learn to, okay, you got your place, we've got our place, let's respect, limit the rules, you live what you want to do, you respect the religious traditions and everything, and you want to live conservative, that's okay, that's fine, live your way, and I want to be a little different, that's okay as well. So maybe that's what's happening, and that's the only way. I don't think it can be one way or the other. Okay, everybody has to be conservative, or everybody has to become open-minded. We have to, move to the future. Maybe, who knows?